Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so with that little wackiness out of the way, guys, this has been popping in my YouTube feed for quite a couple of days right now. It's about the recent live stream of iShowSpeed in China. Okay. Now, a lot of the games that I play nowadays, I think a lot of us right now, since the whole COVID situation, a lot of us have been playing games that were originated from China, right? So it was very interesting to see that iShowSpeed was in China, of all places. You would think that a country like this, with all the weird reports that are coming out of this country, you would think that iShowSpeed would be the last person in the entire world, well, aside from maybe Johnny Somali, to visit such a place, right? Well, you would be wrong. Okay, now I have actually been following this guy, David Zhang, in which he's literally the one guy that I go to get my news that's coming out of China, literally. And everything that I say that I've said about, the things that I've said that's coming out of this very unique country is from this guy. Okay, he is one of, I do believe, is like 4 or 5 content creators. I do believe it was 5 that I mentioned. Content creators on this platform of YouTube that really spill the beans as to the reality of this country. Well, we're gonna see what what this man David Zhang has to say about the whole situation with iShowSpeed. Yes? Yes.
Was Speed paid to be in China by the CCP? The answer is no, but there's a huge catch.
Okay. I mean, this man clickbaited like so hard. Was this man paid by the CCP? Of course not, he wasn't. But, like I said, there might be more to this than meets the eye.
It's no secret that foreign influencers have been paid by various entities in China to come film videos and do tours of major Chinese cities and scenic areas in order to tell the China story well. They call this the Da Wai Xuan, or big foreign propaganda. And the whole campaign is to serve to paint the image of China as a positive one. And there's no way they would allow Speed to film in China freely if there wasn't pre-arranged tour plans in which he does not fall out of line on where he can go, what to do, and who he gets to meet. Because what they've essentially done is set up an entire Potemkin village for Speed to visit China. And sorry, I'm a little under the weather, so my throat and my voice sounds kind of weird right now. For example, in Shanghai, he got to meet pro-CCP celebrity Jackson Wang, who has in various occasions sided with the CCP, like in 2019 during the Hong Kong protest, as well as in this video.
The man looks a little, The man reminds me of Silas from, what was it, Love in Deep Space? Except with green hair and not white.
So much media talking about it's not like China. You travel to China one time, you'll feel like, damn, this is a dull place.
In that first stream, he got to ride in a Xiaomi SU7 vehicle, which is supposed to be better than even a Lamborghini, right? 0 to 100 in very little time. But if you realize, this is the car that last year was being touted as the Tesla killer, yet it had so many problems.
Yeah, so about that, iShowSpeed probably should have died in that car. I'm gonna be for real. Yo, what is that? What is going on?
对，漏水了。
水泄漏了吧？
People reported problems within hours of owning the car. You had this incident from recently where 3 girls, after the car hit the barrier on the side of the highway, it locked all the car doors, so the people perished inside while the car burned.
Yo, IShowSpeed could have died in China. Yo, that's crazy.
Suspension problems.
大家好，我就是小米速7悬架系统出现故障的车主。最终的处理结果是，我释然了，哈哈哈！大笑3声释然了。
So recently I made a video with Scotty Kilmer, and well, I didn't react to one of his videos that he said that China is the #1 car maker in the entire world, right now. That's not gonna last very much longer.
我把车子卖掉了，赔钱卖掉了，我不要了，我也不敢开了。
别拍了，我给雷总发的，雷总啊，他们这个是撞到那个马路牙子。
Yo, the suspension gave out. What? The suspension gave out and the tires are flat. Yo, that's crazy.
就爆胎了吧？
System shutting down.
上午才提的小米速7 Max 创始版，现在呢车机就出现了问题，真的首发还是要谨慎啊。咱们来看一下。
All sorts of problems with this supposedly Tesla killer. Speed also got to ride in the high-speed rail. Wow, the great glorious system of transportation in China. Wow, so amazing. That's all they have to show for? Beijing, he got to meet Miles Moretti, who is a big influencer on Instagram, and he was interviewed by CGTN for basically telling the China story pretty well. At the Shaolin Temple, you had this woman who was translating for Speed, and he was surrounded by these Chinese workers, being able to show up at the right time with the right people. And then he got to meet the man who sang Super Idol. And guess what? Later people found out behind the scene video of him pre-filming a short video with this guy. So yeah, they definitely met beforehand, and they know exactly who they're meeting during these live streams.
I mean, this is not really big news. They always like do meetups like this anyways. Like they do planned meetups with people. But they did it in a very weird way because IShowSpeed doesn't really know this person. It per se. He really doesn't know this person.
What's likely happening is everywhere he goes, there's a local tourist agency that's helping to correspond to that leg of the tour in terms of directing where he goes, what to see, what not to see, where to avoid, and things like that. Yeah, you might be asking if you sign up for a tour group, obviously that's what happens. But if you think about a lot of his other visits to different countries, they're more impromptu, and you can go somewhere that you normally wouldn't go. But here it's very much scheduled for what he needs to see. Because these companies, although they're not part of the CCP, like they're not part of the Chinese Communist Party, they still have to abide by the CCP rules, right? Things like censorship laws, anti-espionage laws, things like watching for the national security of the CCP. So they abide by these strict rules, which means they know exactly what not to allow foreigners to witness, especially to an audience the size of Speed.
It's a gold, bro. Stop saying it's a gold, man. This shit is a gold. WXC, man. WGC, W Speed.
What is going on? Whose man's is this? bro been hitting the bong a little too hard.
I want a selfie, bro. I want a selfie. You want to show me your meat? Yes, yes. Woo. Greetings from Xi Jinping, man.
Somebody, please get this man a girlfriend. Please get this poor man out of his house and into a nightclub of some sort. Just get this man a woman. Jesus Christ. Look at Speed's face. It's kind of crazy. Oh my god.
What? Greetings from Xi Jinping, man. What?
In exchange, it allows these companies certain leeways for publishing content on Chinese social media. For example, Speed got to have a Douyin account, which is ran by obviously a Chinese company. And these companies also allow them to post, or the CCP allows these companies to post on websites like YouTube. Because in China, YouTube is banned. So all of Speed's viewers are organic viewers, but they're simply illegally watching him through VPNs. Because, if you're trying to watch content that's not, I guess you would say, outlined by the CCP, say for scientific research purposes, when you do use a VPN, it's illegal. You can get fines and you can get even, jail time. And by the way, before this whole trip, nobody in China really knew who Speed was. Some people did, but you weren't allowed to post about it because guess what? He was an American YouTuber. Not in China, you're not allowed to know who he was. Why would a country so brainwashed on hating Americans and Japanese people suddenly welcoming iShowSpeed to the country and just simply, start to turn this whole narrative around 180?
Remember, guys, our great and glorious leader of Donald Trump is the one that tariffed China. I mean, there's some already bad blood right there.
80 degrees. But all that effort may have been destroyed by...
Oh, I saw this clip. I saw this clip floating around all over the place on YouTube and social media. Yo, what? I saw this one. What the? Oh, this is funny. This is funny as fuck.
And one girl. During the latest stream in Chengdu, this girl came up to iShowSpeed and basically said she was racist, along with a lot of different things, which I won't show the audio on video of what's being said on the stream.
Oh my god. No, because here's the thing. Okay, the Chinese people are a little bit dumb. Okay. They only hear sporadic news about what's going on in the US, right? So the thing is that they're fed news that what was I think it was the whole George Floyd thing and the BLM movement and something about systemic racism and victimization and stuff like that that's like normal within the black community and stuff like that. And so to like show support or show some love, they think that Speed is also a freaking racist because they post negative propaganda about stuff that goes on in the US, right? And the people in China think, oh, this is like normal, but it's not normal. It's not normal. Oh my god, this is crazy.
You can go and find these videos all over different social media and YouTube, and you can watch for yourself. And then internet users from China are quickly to dismiss her.
No, and you know what? You know what the thing about it is that what is it, Kai Cenat? He went to some other country. And this guy was like saying the N-word, right? But it wasn't like the N-word like we know here in the United States, right? It was to say, I think the English translation is like when or something like that. Like, when do you need me to be there? That kind of way. WHEN. I think that's what it means, right? Somebody could clue me in on that one, but it means totally. It's the same sort of pronunciation, spelled differently, but it means two totally different things. But this is, I don't know how to explain this.
Her as being Japanese, that she especially flew to China to get 2 minutes of fame, and it just turns out this whole attempting to shift the blame to another Japanese person has failed. Why? That Japanese cosplayer came out with a statement saying that she's never been to China, she's never met iShowSpeed, and she doesn't know who that person is in the stream, so don't blame it on her.
Oh, she's not an original Chinese? She's from Japan? I have many questions.
And well, I guess the propaganda failed this time. People like us, $1.6 billion funded anti-China foreign propaganda program has been drained because USAID shut down. Well, guess what? One girl has shut down the entire big foreign propaganda by the CCP, with just 2 minutes of encounter with iShowSpeed. Now people online are going to be like, wow, Chinese people are racist. And the truth is, You know, I hate to say this, but yeah, Chinese people are pretty racist. Remember what happened to the African workers that were in China during COVID? They were essentially kicked out of their apartments, left homeless on the street because the government was trying to shift the blame to anyone but themselves when it comes to the origin of COVID. So yeah.
That was a thing? What? That was a thing? Holy Jesus Christ, what the frick?
And also remember how the One Belt One Road initiative going to Africa is essentially starting a modern day colonization of African countries like the Democratic Republic of Congo, using child slave laborers to harvest and to mine rare earth minerals. And so these are not just some artificial thing that we're trying to make. This is actually what's happening in China. Even Speed's nickname in Chinese is Hyper.
You know what this picture reminds me of? A very angry Sid from, what is it called? Ice Age. I mean, think about it. Doesn't he look like freaking Sid from Ice Age? But in a very demented... Stop. Stop it.
Thyroidism brother, or Jiakeng Ge, which literally translates to he has the symptoms of hyperthyroidism, too much thyroid hormone, so he's jittery and, you know, always too hyper. And yeah, that's a...
Wait, what? Hold on, what?
And so these are not just some artificial thing that we're trying to make. This is actually what's happening in China. Even Speed's nickname in Chinese is hyperthyroidism brother, or Jiakeng Ge, which literally translates to he has the symptoms of hyperthyroidism, too much thyroid hormone, so he's jittery and, you know, always too hyper. And
they think he has a medical condition? What? They think he has a medical condition. Oh my god.
yeah, that's a pretty derogatory term if you ask me. So essentially, I'm feeling like they're putting up with a massive sort of elephant in the room to try to invite this YouTuber to come to China for a propaganda campaign. Why? Well, the CCP has recently shifted their approach. They're now using a lot of these foreign faces to influence on YouTube, for example. This increase, double or tripling of pro-China videos popping up on YouTube and other social media. This massive network is more hidden, and, you know, having Speed, somebody with 37.5 million subscribers on YouTube, coming to China is probably one of the best campaigns they could run for promoting the China story. But to call this a defeat of anti-China Western propaganda is absolutely hilarious to me, because he has done nothing except to tour around Potemkin village. And if you say that the same thing about going to North Korea, I doubt you'd come back with, oh yeah, that was such a free exchange between the North Koreans and the Americans. Naturally, for Speed to grow his audience, it was great for him to go to China, and obviously he has a lot of followers and fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that Mr. Speed is like visiting all these places, and he's a lot less disturbing than some other people that we know of. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, you know. But still, I mean, China? I don't know about that, man.
Fans in China as well. I would love to get a response from Speed's team in terms of how they organized the China trip, what agencies were in progress of helping them, and that'll actually help us understand, be more transparent about this whole trip, and we can better understand whether or not Speed's team was truly, you know, in the know about what's going to happen there, were these trips prearranged, you know, why did those pro-CCP celebrities show up along the way. Also, don't just take it from me, take it from State Media Shanghai Daily's resident propagandist, Andy Borum. Here's what he said on Twitter. This is an ill-informed criticism that since the CCP doesn't work directly with any foreign celebrities, etc. Speed will have definitely had local help, probably from a Chinese entertainment company agent who can help him make his time here much smoother. And the company would liaise with local officials, etc. Why? Any YouTuber can stream from China, but... Well, the last line is not true, because last year a Thai streamer tried to stream in front of Tiananmen Square and was immediately harassed by police to tell her to stop.
Yeah.
在天门里会
Oh God, shall we go jail?
小东西
I would love for Speed to do some off-script live streaming in China in some rural parts of town, or just to go somewhere to.
Oh yeah, you want to know another example? There was another. I don't know if it did it go viral. I think it did go viral. That there was a guy who was driving a cab in China, and the cab driver called the police because he thought that the American guy was a freaking spy for to sabotage the CCP. Bro literally thought he was a freaking spy. What the That's crazy.
Explore, see what he'll find without all these people around him that are obviously there to be watchmen, but also translate, of course. But these type of assistants to the plain eyes, I guess you would say, would think they're not out of the ordinary, but to people like us, we know exactly what's going on here. Maybe go visit the countryside, the rural schools, and see what's out there. And thank you so much for watching this episode, and hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, leave a like, comment below your thoughts about this whole encounter, and as well as let me know how you think about the whole Speed situation. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care. Until next time. Was Speed...
Oh my god. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I never thought that this is like the most nuanced thing I have ever seen in my entire life. It's really complicated for me to actually come up with like a point of view of this. But I think it's funny. I like the I like the unintelligent, quirky, racist girl who didn't know what the frick was going on. Literally. I mean, I think she's just like sweet and innocent, but completely misinformed. Oh my god, that is just crazy. Now, I'm not saying that I promote that type of behavior, okay? It's just funny of the level of ignorance and misinformation that they're given about people like Speed, okay? It's... oh my god. Yeah. Anyways... You guys have fun, do what you gotta do. I think this is hilarious. Enough said.